Details of the crucifixion of Christ were prophesied in the pages of the Old Testament, according to Christian apologist and radio talk show host Bob Dutko. In this episode, examining his assertion that these so-called prophecies help establish that the Bible is true, Dutko offers a verse from Psalm 35 as a prediction that Jesus, the Messiah, would be hated for no reason.
Psalm 35:19 says the Messiah would be hated without reason, which of course was fulfilled.
Does Psalm 35:19 say a future Messiah would be hated without reason? And where exactly is this prophecy stated to have been fulfilled in the New Testament stories of Jesus, if we are to assume he was this future Messiah? While Dutko offers no help in answering these questions in his short, unsupported assertion of fulfilled prophecy, another Christian author, philosopher, and apologist, Robert Clifton Robinson, gives us a hand. Author of 9 books regarding the existence of God, the historicity of Jesus Christ, and the prophecies of the Messiah, this acting president and CEO of Teach the Word Ministries on his own website details Psalm 35:19's fulfillment recorded in the Gospel of John, chapter 15, verses 23 through 25. In these verses, Jesus is speaking. "He who hates me hates my Father also. If I had not done among them the works which no one else did, they would have no sin. But now they have seen, and also hated both me and my Father. But this happened that the word might be fulfilled which is written in their law, they hated me without cause." But again, we have to turn to the source of the so-called prophecy to see if it indeed was making a prediction about a future event regarding a specific person, specifically Jesus as the Messiah. Psalm 35, in fact, is a song of vengeance, a request to have wrongs righted. It is not specifically about a future Messiah. It is not even remotely prophetic. It is also so vague as to apply to anyone at any time, which is one of the reasons why the Psalms are so powerful today and why people have found meaning in them applicable to their own lives throughout the centuries. If Psalm 35 was supposed to be a reference to a future Messiah, why isn't one mentioned? And if that Messiah was supposed to be Jesus, why do other verses in the Psalm contradict the story of Jesus as found in the New Testament? For example, Psalm 35:11 reads, "Ruthless witnesses come forward. They question me on things I know nothing about." When was Jesus asked questions about things which he specifically had no knowledge? This is different, of course, than simply remaining silent, which the Gospels of Matthew and Mark tell us Jesus did during his trial before Pilate, as contradicted, of course, by the Gospel of John, which has Jesus get into a philosophical tit-for-tat with the Roman prefect. This verse in Psalm 35 specifically states the author was asked questions about which he was ignorant. No philosophical discourse here. Psalm 35:13 goes on to read that the author, despite his ill treatment by friends, cried out to God on their behalf, but "my prayers returned to me unanswered." When did Jesus pray for those who had hated him without cause? How does the New Testament document these prayers as having gone unanswered? For that matter, when and how did any of Jesus' prayers go unanswered? Indeed, the entire context of the psalm is of the author in contrast to God, asking for God's help, in direct opposition to John's assertion that God and Jesus, the supposed focus of Psalm 35, are one and the same. This is abundantly clear from the opening lines of the psalm. "Contend, Lord, with those who contend with me. Fight against those who fight against me. Take up shield and armor. Arise and come to my aid. Brandish spear and javelin against those who pursue me. Say to me, I am your salvation." Clearly, there is nothing prophetic in Psalm 35:16 which foresaw how Jesus would be hated without cause in the 1st century CE. It's just another misreading of the text by overly enthusiastic but biblically illiterate Christian apologists. Funding for this program was provided in part by the generous contributions of viewers like you via Patreon. Consider joining them at www.patreon.com/Bible Skeptic. Thank you.